dance though. So that's what most people who want to be rappers, most people who want to create music, that's what they're seeing. That's what they're going to try to emulate. That's what they think works.
But you were saying though that you said that it's okay to rap about being in the streets or being hard, even if you weren't hard.
Yes.
I don't think nah.
It's art. It's
not art.
It's vice versa. It's like playing the role of the opposite. Basically, what he's trying to say. You feel me? He's basically saying like, all right, if you just turn it more into like an art form and try to relate it to real life, then it just becomes art.
Yeah.
Like anybody could do it. But I get it though. It kind of takes away from the like root of hip hop. You know,
I don't think
it's corny. Not even like taking away from the roots. It's just really corny because like you're not talking about a real story. You're talking about a fictional story trying to portray an image of what you did not or what you were really not like about.
I understand, but at the same time, what's worse? Being a little corny, or you just have a wave of thousands of people making horrible decisions, getting locked up, people dying over.
Yo, what's going on here? Here we are at WSJ Radio, and this is the J.S. Show. I'm your host, Jonathan, JS, whatever you want to call me. Here I got my co-host, Gary, right over here.
Yes, sir. Gary G, Lil Greatness, Gary, Eric, Mandel Harris. You cannot call me that because you don't know me.
And I got a special guest coming in here, too.
Tim, Moogie, sorry for the delay. Kind of an idiot.
No, you good. And so last week we was talking about, we just got back from our spring break. I'm not going to be talking about one person, I'm just going to basically tell out what we was doing last time. Last time we was talking about Kanye West's Genius documentaries. Episode 3 just dropped. Actually, episode 2 dropped the day I dropped the video. I had already watched episode 2, but I didn't watch it before the video, so a lot of it, I didn't get to put too much input on it. I might do another, like, part 2 on that, too, just to finish it up, because I'm probably going to watch part 3 tonight. And I hope people, like, tune into that and everything. So, basically today, I want to kind of steam from that, kind of connect what we're talking about today with the whole Kanye documentary, because as back then Kanye was more of an outsider, he was more of an outliner in the industry. He was the only one doing what he was doing, and it wasn't really accepted in the industry at the time because he was more of just like quiet dude, not a hood dude, not a thug, and he didn't want to portray that image, and they wouldn't really accept it at the time. They just wanted him to make beats, but obviously he would end up growing to what he became, and now he's Kanye West, Yeezus, Ye, whatever you want to call him. And basically connecting that today is basically the whole image of hip-hop in general. As I just recently seen an interview with Durk and Wallo, because Durk just dropped his new album. I don't know if he dropped it today or he's dropping it tomorrow, something like that. Don't correct me on that if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
And he basically had an interview with Wallo, and obviously they're talking about the album drop and everything like that. But Wallo, I don't recall exactly what he said, but the clip I seen of it was basically Wallo was telling him like, don't feed into all this like what the mainstream media wants you to do. Don't feed into don't go out and act vengeance on don't go do.
Basically, he's trying to tell Durk to stop doing what he's been doing. Stay in the streets because now he's because a mainstream dude, he's getting bigger. He should stay out of the streets because Wallo, who has experience being in the streets, Philadelphia, he just knows how heartbreaking and how damaging it can be towards your mental and towards your own health and the people that love you.
Exactly, and perfectly right there. And that's basically, and Wallo was basically telling Durk exactly what Gary just said. And I wanted to bring it, and that brought me to thinking about the whole image that hip hop portrays and everything like that, and how it's the dominant ideal what people look at when they think of a hip hop artist. As you see, you got the gun charges, you got the murders, you got the deaths, you got the loved ones passed, family, friends in jail, rappers going to jail. Pooh Shiesty's still in jail right now. The picture just came out the other day. And, you see that's the image of all these guys. And what's portrayed is that the thug life is now kind of taken over again, I would say, in the main public eye. Some of the biggest rappers are in line with that, with Youngboy, Baby, Durk, basically killing the mainstream. Obviously, you still got Drake and other dudes still there, but you still got the main outliers still at the head of the heels of this whole thing. So
it's to the point that you got rappers that they haven't committed crimes, but are saying they committed crimes and pleading guilty to crimes they did not commit. because they know that'll make their songs boost. They'll know it'll just make them a bigger name.
Well, you also got to look at it from the fact that when hip hop started, hip hop was founded in the Bronx, New York. And like when people rap, they usually rap about stuff that they like see growing up, stuff that they see going around. You know, killings in my neighborhood. You know, I'm a black man in the Bronx. I'm not specifically, you know, but like as somebody who's from a black man in the Bronx, I probably used to seeing that growing up. They rap about the dad dying, people like that they know close to them on crack and drugs. You know, my only issue is when it comes to rap. People want to like highlight on that because rap's like a genre created by black people, dominated by black people. We don't talk about when it happens to rock music when, you know, they encourage kids to kill themselves, talk about school shootings and murder and stuff, but it's always like black people because like we dominate hip hop.
Exactly, and that's a great point that you bring up. As like you said, when you go to the root of hip hop, yeah, it was just these guys telling their stories and everything, talking about their daily life. They're just they're poets in like a bad like environment, you know.
It's
and they're
so
trying to
deep
get out.
though. Y'all know Daddy Yankee?
Yeah.
Daddy Yankee, yeah.
You know that song was out for maybe a year. And then he went to Canada to face a charge.
What song?
He has one. Daddy Yankee's like one of the biggest one-hit wonders. I only remember it's Daddy Yankee. I don't remember the song. If you look up Daddy Yankee, it might be. Anyway.
Keep talking.
Yeah. Anyway, after he went to Canada to face the charge, he got locked up, and his record label just pushed, "Oh, free Daddy Yankee, free Daddy Yankee," and now that song's one of the most famous songs ever.
Like, yeah, the famous song.
Because he got locked up for a crime he didn't commit.
Alright. And that's a good point that you bring up. And so, like I was saying, like
this nigga not even black. Like,
yeah.
So basically, yeah, you bring up that's the point. That's a good point. Basically, you're saying. So then now let's bring it now. Now we get it from the root of most of these artists. That's where they come from. They're just rapping about the struggle and everything like that. But then what I wanted to talk about was after these guys get out of that scenario, after they get out of that situation. This is what I'm talking. This is what I'm trying to bring up the point with the whole Durk and Wallo conversation. Is Wallo was telling them, you're older now. You got a family. You got a girl. You got a kid. Like, you got a new life. You got money now. You're not in the South Side of Chicago. You don't need to be still, like, you know, like, doing all of that. Like, you know, you don't got to drop your boys. You can obviously bring them with you, you know. You don't got to stop with you know, like, your daily routine. Like, still be you, you know. But that stuff that you was doing is like when you were struggling, basically what you were doing to survive every other day and everything like that.
Like mentioning dudes in your songs, you know, you a big dude for that, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Like, you don't need to be doing none of that no more. And that's basically what I was saying. Like, the industry, that's like and these are the main guys, like I'm saying. These aren't dudes that are still in your neighborhood or still in, you know, like back home and everything like that. Nah, these are dudes that you could go to, I don't know, like BYU, and then I'm sure you could find someone like listening to Durk somewhere there. You know, these are dudes that everyone they portray like they're a big part of the culture. You know, basically. Yeah, exactly. So, and that's why I wanted to bring up the whole point of like rappers still portraying that life, because I remember we was just talking, and I brought up the whole point. If you a rapper and you're at the Grammys. You not, I don't care like who, you know, like I don't care like who you was, where you was. If you was at the Grammys, you not in that lifestyle no more. There's no reason for you to still be dropping dead dude and still be doing all that and everything.
Yeah, I just also wanted to point out, notice how at the Grammys, it took us for a while for us to actually get recognition. You know, the first rapper to ever win a Grammy is a rapper who wasn't even heavy in the streets. Philadelphia's very own Will Smith. Gotta put that out there.
Really?
It's a fact. No, it's a fact. The first rapper to ever win a Grammy was Will Smith.
I believe it. It makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And basically, though, you know, basically what we were saying though was on that topic, you know, like, I remember what's his name? I remember a rap battle over the summer. It was the verses. It was Jeezy versus Gucci Mane.
Yeah, I was actually like before the summer. I remember.
And these are old, and these dudes are old as too. Like these dudes is like I said. Do you really think they still live in that street like Gucci Mane?
Hell no.
I mean, like
that's
at least now, like you don't know the beef with the Jeezy and Gucci Mane. They was already made it. They was already famous though. it was like they was just beefing at one point. You know, Jeezy sent a head out for Gucci, and then Gucci ended up killing that dude before he would have died. That's like what the whole beef was. You know, sometimes these dudes really do be living the street life, but like I was mentioning before, like off camera, is that like when you talk to a manager, when you actually get to meet these dudes in person, you find out that they actually have a really hard time because of their legal issues. Which is why like some of these rappers they don't get booked shows, they get big opportunities because they got a rap sheet that prevents them from doing so. You know, like we had a manager come up here talk about one of his artists that we know he's a big Brooklyn artist. I'm not going to say his name, but like he had like because of stuff that he did as a teenager, it caught up to him when he was like 20, 21 when he just made it. You know, Rolling Loud denied him. They tried to book him for shows out in Boston. They pressed him at the door. They were like cops stole some BS charges on him, and now like yo he's locked up right now because like the stuff that he actually did, he was actually talking about, which while I was actually trying to tell Durk like yo this stuff is nothing to glorify. Same thing he was telling Pooh Shiesty like yo you made it out your hood, stay out of it, yo. Everything that was in that, leave that behind you. If it ain't going to prosper.
And that was and you bring up the perfect point. Like I just want to say, like, dude, like I just want to say, like there's still rappers out there that are still living that life. You know, like you were just saying, like, they still got to deal with those charges. Like you said, we've talked. Like managers have come in and talked to us and told us that like these guys, it's still they're still involved in all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like and like you said, you brought up rappers like Chef G, who's currently locked up.
Yeah.
Free Chef, by the way. And then you got like, does Sleepy have to deal with anything like that?
Sleepy, I mean, not as bad as Chef did. Nah, he's good right now. Chef, he's good right now. Nah, I know. Like when we had Dave East coming here, because Dave East had some stuff under his belt. You know, St. John's pressed him at the door. You know, and like notice how like all like street rap. That's not like what's most popular is more like like indie rap. I guess like stuff like Drake, Kanye West, but like street rap, that's not as popular right now. And notice how these dudes, they don't get the same opportunities. You know, when King Von was alive, you know, he wasn't getting those same opportunities as the other dudes was. You know, Pooh Shiesty wasn't getting the same opportunities as the other dudes was.
I say yes and no. I feel like we've always had indie rappers, but street rap has never went anywhere. Like
but I said they didn't get the same opportunities as these indie rappers do. Like
okay, that's fair, but like Young Boy.
Yeah, Young Boy don't get no attention.
Yeah, I mean, no, look, he was look.
Well, not like he don't get attention, but like from the mainstream and everything that he's been. That's all him. No, but that's like all him.
Yeah,
like, that's what I'm saying. Like it's not like he don't got like.
Like he's not going to concerts. He's not getting promotions.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like he's not.
I would disagree. I would say that
he's not getting nominated, but he's not getting nominated for no Grammys. He's not getting put on no like soundtrack for a movie. Matter of fact, I remember when he was locked up during his like last album, right? YouTube, like he's a king of YouTube right now, right? Yeah. YouTube, who gave him a plaque, whatever, right? They chose to not promote him for his image when he was locked up, which is really effed up, you know?
I guess. I just say, man, streets, it ain't worth it. It ain't worth it ever. I mean, look, the best gangsters, right? You got the CIA.
Yeah.
Have to be.
And that's another thing that I actually want to get into. It's a little conspiracy, but it's kind of a good like topic to like surround about it. Is like who kind of like wants to push all that stuff like to the main scene and everything like that. Who wants to portray that image to the public? And who wants that image to stay there at the top? Because as you said, gangster rap has always been that like thin line, like not the thin line, but the main thread in hip hop.
Yeah.
You go back and
started off gangster rap.
Is that, and it's always been like that's always been its core, you know. Like you said, you have the indie rappers. Nah, and it never will.
It's impossible.
Nah, and it never will. You've had the indie rappers. You got like your Tyler Creator and everything like that. You got your Tyler Creators, you got your Kanyes and your Drakes and everything like that.
The Lil Nas X. Cut this part out. Yeah.
So then, how does it? And then it goes into the whole point of the image that it portrays to the media with these guys, you know, like that. Like when a rapper gets arrested, it's mainstream media. Like for example, when the baby just beat the gun charge and everything like that, you see that plastered all over the place.
I see him with Tory Lanez with the gun residue, with the lifestyle.
Yeah, then you got Tory Lanez, his face being plastered all over the place just for the gun charge and everything. You got the baby getting plastered all over the place with the gun charge and everything like that. because I feel like it just fits the narrative that they want to keep pushing. Like I said, gangster rap it's hip hop to the core. There's nothing, they'll never go nowhere, nothing like that. But then it's like the image of these dudes, because it's like the baby, for example. The baby. Do you think the baby? Would you still call the baby a thug? Would you still say the baby is like? And you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people don't really view him as a good role model, you know? Like, he's not gonna do no Fortnite stuff, whatever. I mean, like, nah, like, exactly. Like, nah, like, it's just because of the image that he has, you know? He's not gonna do no Fortnite show. They're not gonna have him on Sesame Street, none
Here's
of that.
the thing.
But
Can I ask you this?
Yeah.
Is the only difference between the baby and Snoop Dogg time? Like, if the baby just sustained his career for like 10 years, would he eventually just be grandfathered into entertainment and media? Like
It's not
Snoop Dogg
even.
is?
It's not even really time. I mean,
Or
guess
is there
you could.
something else going on?
I mean, depending on what you mean by time. You mean like if he came out in the '90s, and like if this was during the '90s, would he still be treated the same way?
If the baby was sustaining this success for like 10, 15 years, would he now be able to be in Fortnite?
Something probably
That's what
something.
You
Nah.
bring up a good point. Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah, so
Cause, like,
what
nah.
separates him from like a Snoop Dogg? Like, we have some people that they get their names out there, and they was definitely in the streets. It's just the fact that they were in the streets so long ago that we can kind of turn a blind eye.
You think time is a big factor? Into,
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a good point. Honestly, it's a good point. Honestly, where if you think about it, like that's what you bring up a guy like Snoop Dogg, basically, because Snoop Dogg, a lot of people don't realize that Snoop Dogg, Ice Cube, people see Ice Cube as the family movie guy. Nah, these dudes, like these dudes, they you know they seen a lot.
Compton, California.
Yeah. Like they seen.
I'm not a blood.
You feel me? They've seen a lot, so I feel like it's a good point. That time eventually will like. I don't know, like kind of like not portray that image that they want to portray anymore. I get that. I get it comes with maturity and everything like that on the rapper's part too. But then like I look at it, then I bring up the whole point of the baby as you look at the baby and all right, now put it like this: the baby, like I said with Lil Durk, his voice is all over the place. His image is it's mainstream. It's in the it's not just us no more that's listening to it. You know, it's everybody listening to it. The baby, he's even bigger than Durk.
Yeah.
And the baby, he's plastered all over the place. So maybe at time, that image of him being the street and the thug and all that will like change over time.
Good
But I
save,
feel
by
like
the way.
that.
It's a good save, by the way.
Like
it might just get diluted, you know, like with more perspective on the baby. And that's really what time is, you know. So.
Yeah, nah, I think that's just a good point. It's just that why is it when these dudes are in their prime, like why is it when they really have the biggest name and they're not just looked at as an older rapper, why is it that has to be the image that you always putting them out there as? Because the baby, it's like, the baby ain't no thug, the baby's just a whole like celebrity, he's just a black celebrity. He's not no thug, he's not no nothing, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, he says he is. I'm not gonna lie, like
he was. Maybe. Don't get me wrong.
Don't forget, like just before.
He beat up Danny Lane brother at a bowling.
And don't forget that self-defense charge he had in Walmart.
Oh yeah. But I'll say, I feel like the baby might not be the best example because the baby is still like
all that stuff.
Yeah, the baby ain't really changed.
Well, not yet. Because I just seen, speaking of the Danny Lane thing, it was funny that you brought that up because I saw an interview where he was basically saying how he kind of like regrets that situation.
Yeah.
The baby, he said he regret like putting it all on social media and everything.
Yo, he had like 30 people there. He could have easily just had them like grab him.
Yeah.
But he wanted to fold him on the bowling alley. That's
They
different.
were slipping and falling too.
Yeah.
That's one of the worst places to do it. You know, you could have at least did it to the side. You did it on like where the
they went to where the pins were.
That's crazy.
Nah. They be funny, man.
Yeah.
See,
See, my thing is like, but think about it, like who he beat up. He beat up Danny Lay's brother. You think Danny Lay's brother is like Danny Lay's brother? You know what I'm saying?
He released a video talking about, oh, he wasn't doing nothing. He wasn't doing nothing. I want part 2. I want a boxing match. Next day, I'm suing the baby.
Yeah, you see what I mean? That's what I'm like.
That's why you cannot play the street card, or the tough card. That's like, especially when you get that big, you're just.
Like, trust me, when your ego gets taken away from you, that's going to really hurt. That's going to embarrass you.
Mm-hmm. No, you're right. It's really gonna mess you up and everything like that. That's why.
That's why you gotta commend Drake.
Yeah.
Because Drake has always been able to be his soft, light-skinned self, and feel confident in whatever room.
Yeah. Yeah. Nah. Drake always was like.
Wheelchair Jimmy, feel me? Like,
Yeah,
I remember, like, there's people who literally didn't want to sign him or mess with him because of that whole, like, acting gig. Now, Jim Jones said he would have signed Drake, but, like, he was on a wheelchair. Now, Drake stayed true to himself. People thought he was whack and corny. And then now, look, the highest selling rap artist of all time besides Eminem.
Yeah.
Which is crazy, that's Eminem. So then, before, like, to knock, like, why, like, do you think that, like, I still see the importance of it as, like I said, gangster rap is hip hop to the core. There's nothing.
Like you've been in the game for like 3 to 5 years now, right? You're not in the hood no more. You're not having roaches on your toothbrush. You're not like having dudes shoot in front of your crib. Right now, all you got ducks on a pond and a lake right near you. You got a white fence, a beautiful home, beautiful family and stuff. You can't rap about like any of that stuff that you used to live because you don't live there anymore.
Yeah. Like, stop trying to, like, hype it up to the point where you're trying to make it seem like, oh, that's the life. Oh, that's cool. It's like, nah, bro. Like, you don't want to be there and everything like that.
And then, I feel like, to be honest, it is okay to rap about the streets if you're not in the streets.
What?
Yeah. Look at Tekka. Yes. Yes. Stop. You do not. And you want to know what the problem with thinking the other way is? When you think the other way, you got people that just want to rap and think, oh, the only way for me to rap is by doing illegal stuff. That is...
Hold on.
That is definitely the way that a lot of kids and entertainment think. And listen, I'll give you an example. Look at Lil Tekka.
Yeah.
Tekka he says it himself, he a nerd. But like when he first started, he was rapping about the streets. Because that's just... that's just a regular thing to rap about.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not even a good thing because you gonna get G-checked about it.
Well,
right?
No, here's the thing. You got to be honest. You can rap about the streets and be like, oh, I'm just rapping about the streets. I'm not actually in the streets.
That's portraying a bad image. That's trying to like
it's different when you're not really because that's not your real image. Promoting a bad image when you actually get in charge with that stuff.
Yeah, then he can bring up the point with the dude who actually went out his way to basically do that was Take K. Remember Take K?
Exactly.
His boys was telling him basically, yo, you gotta do all this crazy stuff to get that image. And he went and did all that crazy stuff, and we don't know how that story went.
I mean, like, he kind of was doing that crazy stuff even before he was rapping.
Like,
matter of fact, what put him up was the fact that he was doing that crazy stuff. That's what made him famous as a rapper.
You don't think rapping might have influenced it or put a little, like, gasoline on that?
I mean, you don't gotta be like a gangster rapper to be a successful rapper. It's been proven with Kanye West. It's been proven with Drake.
But it's easier.
It may be easier, but like, look, the biggest rappers in the game don't be talking about doing street stuff. Kendrick Lamar, he might have made an album called Good Kid, Mad City, but he was still talking about how he remained a good kid, not a thug, not a bad kid in a city full of crime stuff. Like J. Cole, even himself, he don't be talking about like how he's shooting dudes in the street.
Most of the newer rappers rapping about the street.
Yeah, but still, it's not like because
so
some of them actually live that lifestyle.
I understand, but I'm saying that's the influence though. So that's what most people who want to be rappers, most people who want to create music, that's what they're seeing. That's what they're gonna try to emulate. That's what they think works.
But you were saying though that you said that it's okay to rap about being in the streets or being hard, even if you weren't hard.
Yes.
I don't think nah.
It's art. It's acting.
It's not art.
Yeah, it's vice versa. It's like playing the role of the opposite, basically what he's trying to say. You feel me? He's basically saying like, all right, if you just turn it more into like an art form and try to relate it to real life, then it just becomes art.
Yeah.
Like anybody could do it. But I get it though, it kind of takes away from the like root of hip hop. You know,
I don't think it.
It's corny. Not even like taking away from the roots. It's just really corny because like you're not talking about a real story. You're talking about a fictional story trying to portray an image of what you did not, or what you were really not like about.
I understand, but at the same time, what's worse? Being a little corny, or you just have a wave of thousands of people making horrible decisions, getting locked up, people dying over corniness.
Got a rebuttal question. What's better, doing that or just rapping about how you actually were and being successful off of it?
Well, here's the thing.
Look at Drake. Like we were just talking about Drake. Drake never rapped about doing any of that stuff. And he's still one of the highest selling rappers of all time. And the only rapper that sold more than him is Eminem, and Eminem never rapped about being like that at all.
The thing is, rapping about being in the street only influences other people to get into the street. We don't need more people in the street.
And that was my point, which is why I said it's not okay to do that.
It's not okay about rapping in the street. It's not okay to rap about being in the street.
If you're not in the streets, like you said,
either way, you're just influencing people to do it. And here's the thing. I say when you really jack it, like, oh, I'll really be in the streets, I'm this, I'm that. Not only are you inviting people to test you, now you're making people think, oh, this is the only way. This is the only way for me to succeed. I mean, look at 6ix9ine.
Yeah.
6ix9ine didn't blow up until he started acting like he was from the hood and he was banging. That is a problem. Like here's what I'm gonna say.
His lyrics always been like that too. My friend, my boy, he's from the Bronx.
When I heard old 6ix9ine, I heard a lot of Spanish music. Not all the music I heard.
I went back. I actually listened to some old 6ix9ine because I'm not gonna lie, some of it's hard and everything like that, and it's more like in the between. Like it's not like hardcore hard.
Wait, when y'all say old 6ix9ine, what y'all talking about?
Like before Treyway.
The song Yokai. That's actually I mess with that song. It's actually one of his old songs.
You got songs like Zillakami or like what's it called, like City Morgue.
All I'm gonna say is when you got a system, when you say things or when the culture believes, oh, you should only be rapping about the street when you're from the street, you're gonna invite more 6ix9ines.
Yeah.
By trying to say you need to be authentic for art, and art is not authentic. Entertainment is not authentic. It just isn't. Even Drake, who we're saying is authentic, the reason why we're praising him as being authentic is because art in itself is not authentic. But the thing is, when you put an emphasis on that, it only gives people motivation to act like people they aren't. You have more 6ix9ines. That's all I'm saying.
But I've seen situations where you don't have more 6ix9ines. You have more kids who actually want to go out and do the stuff because they feel like this is the way for them to only be accepted. For example, Casanova. Casanova, I think his music is hard, but Casanova even said himself he just only did this stuff because he thought it was cool. He's trying to be accepted because other people were doing it.
Yeah.
It's not a good thing to be rapping about something that you didn't do, because then you also got to understand, if kids younger than you, people younger than you, they're going to look up to you and want to follow in your footsteps, and when they think that you were doing this, they're going to try to follow in your footsteps and then get steered towards the wrong path.
Well, you got to be upfront and be like, oh, this is just my music.
Dudes don't be upfront.
And that's the whole point. That's the whole point we're trying to talk about right here. Mm-hmm. That's the whole point right there. It's the image of these. That's why I was bringing up dudes like Durk, the Baby, and not Lil Baby, but Durk and the Baby, because these dudes are the ones that they're the ones that people are looking up to and being influenced by. They're portraying that image while they're sitting in $1 million homes, sitting in with their kids all paid for, everything paid for.
Especially Gunna. Yeah. Gunna, what are you doing? Gunna could be so big, if he wasn't radioactive. And I mean, he's really not, especially out of the trio.
Gunna is big.
I know Gunna's big, but Gunna could be appearing in Nickelodeon Marvel movies, what else? Fortnite. He might have already been in that. He could just be in a lot. Gunna's a very entertaining person.
I get that, but I feel like to get to the Fortnite part, you gotta take the Travis Scott way. And Travis Scott's more of Travis Scott's isn't basically like straight on rap, you know. It's more of just like a version of indie rap, you know. It's more. It's
That was
not straight
also
on rap.
somebody else also was talking about. He never rapped about being in the streets whatsoever. He was just strictly him, and then that's why he was able to have the image, to able to like to do something for the kids on Fortnite.
Yeah, so you could rap about being in the streets if it's obvious, like you're just chatting. I'm telling you, I can't think of any examples.
It's corny, man. It's corny.
I don't need to know that you lived that life. Like you listen to a breakup and you gonna think, oh, shit.
It's like rapping about struggling and you weren't struggling growing up, you know?
If you could really articulate that, good for you. Kudos. I'm gonna enjoy it. I mean, look, if you heard a song about a breakup, but you found out there wasn't actually a breakup, are you gonna not be able to like the song anymore? Is it gonna be corny?
And I was just about to add on to that. I was just gonna say, dude, like I was just saying, these dudes are going back home to $1 million cars, $1 million mansions, pool, everything, maid service, chefs, all that nice stuff. They're not, you know, they're just performers. They're actors. Yeah. They're artists. That their job is to go on Instagram Live and entertain us. Their job is to go like entertain us and all that stuff. Their job is to portray all that stuff to us, you know? They're not anything like that person. And that's basically, kind of like tying into everything, you know? And we probably up to like 30 minutes, so probably gonna wrap it up right here if y'all got anything else to say, you know?
I say, yeah, I feel like as a consumer, we're really smart nowadays. The reason why gangster rap was huge back in the day was because it was really hard to find out about somebody's personal life. To the point where an artist would have to basically tell you in a song or in an interview. Now, we see almost everything they do. Almost everything. So it's honestly hard to keep up an act. You know what I mean? So I feel like at this point, just be real, be authentic. You know, if you're in the streets and you want to rap about it, cool. You know, like cool, but at least be a little authentic. If you're not in the streets and you want to rap about it, cool, but be authentic and say you're not in the streets. You know, like that's all I'm saying. Be authentic. Consumers respect that.
I just strictly stick to my point, you know, like, rap about what the lifestyle that you live about, because there's nothing to glorify, you know. As somebody, like, who, like, was born into that stuff and had my parents move me out because they didn't want me to become that type of person, and then seeing my family go through the hardship and struggle of it, it's not really nothing to glorify about, you know. Like, it's terrifying being a little kid, hearing gunshots coming right in front of your crib. It's not cool at all to, like, be joined in the gang and then you can't walk home to people that love you, people that really care about you. So I know y'all had y'all points, y'all had y'all views, but like, yeah, at the end of the day, stay true to yourself. And then any rapper that's still in the hood, if you're watching this, get out. There's people that love you that really just want to see you live and prosper.
Hey, get out the hood.
Yeah,
you know what? Let me say this. Gangs were started by the CIA. The street, the hood life, that was started.
Let's not get into that.
That was started by the CIA. Like, y'all are working.
That's a whole different conversation. That's a whole different conversation, man.
Alright, so I'm basically gonna conclude with my final statement. Yeah, like basically with rap, just remember these guys are artists and a lot of these guys are just portraying stories and everything like that. They're just trying to thank my guests for coming on here.
Moogie, Tim, it's always a pleasure.
I'd like to thank my co-host as well.
You already know what it is, man. A little greatness in the building.
Alright, this is John. This is a JdotS show here at WGSA Radio, and I'm your host, Jonathan JS, whatever you want to call me. Alright, I'd like to thank y'all for listening and thank y'all for watching. Alright.